AITA for telling my fiancé of 8 years to choose between his best friend and I. I'll try not to make this too long, but this needs a lot of context. At least I think so, or I'll start to gaslight myself again. I've been trying to talk myself out of the breakup the whole night. Also apologizing for formatting I'm a mobile user. Okay, basically my fiancé and I met 8 years ago. 8 years ago, my fiancé and his best friend became business partners as well. When our relationship started off, it was great. Sean was a wonderful boyfriend, and after 3 years, he proposed. He would clean for me, cook for me, etc. He treated me like a princess. X life was great, and he was seriously the love of my life. After the end of the 3rd year, though, things started to get seriously annoying with his best friend. My fiancé, M27, Sean and his best friend, M30, Ace started to hang out with each other more and more. Ace would pick him up in his Hellcat, and every time he'd get a new stupid modification, he'd call Sean to see it. I didn't think anything of it until they started to spend the night with each other. I posted on a Reddit sub when this happened and asked the same question, "Hey Joe?" And I got a lot of "yes, you're overreactings." Editor's note: I was unable to find this post as OOP said she deleted it. After all, it was only sometimes on the weekends, and it was so Sean wouldn't have to drive home after work. It was harmless. Well, then it started to be during the week and for 2 to 3 days at a time. He would go out drinking with Ace almost every weekend and come back home at the crack as of dawn. We are talking like 1 a.m. or not come home at all, so he wouldn't drink and drive. Plus, I'm pretty sure they hang out after they get off from work because he comes home later than he did a year ago or so. It got to the point where if he had an outing with Ace the next day, he couldn't sleep or eat from the excitement, or even be intimate for the fear of not being able to concentrate. I got extremely upset at this and accused him of not being attracted to me, but he assured me that wasn't it. And when the outing was done, he was right. He'd be just as attracted to me as before. Regardless, it was weird. I felt like boundaries were getting crossed. I left this out on the first Reddit post that I deleted, but he had an accident at work and Ace called me saying that he would be the one to take Sean to the hospital, and I argued with him, but Ace took him anyway. I didn't even know what hospital he went to or anything. Sean was fine and insisted that he went to Ace's house afterwards because he didn't want to be alone. I told him that hurt me because it seemed like he was saying that he felt alone with me. Again, he assured me that wasn't the case, and it was the shock of the physical issue accident, and Ace was like his brother and his only family. Sean doesn't have much family, and it's only me, Ace, and his aunt that he barely talks to. During my dress fitting, he brought Ace. Which, I should mention, he spent the night with Ace the night before the dress fitting and was 10 minutes late with my family there. When I saw Ace, I was furious. He yelled at me the first time a week ago when I asked him, "Are you and Ace having some weird thing going on?" It was along those lines. It was more like a joke, but he was like, "Oh God, no, I'd never. I don't even like men and Ace is like a brother," which he's never had an interest in men before, but what? Please tell me I'm not crazy. He also likes a lot of woman models, etc., etc. Anyway, all of that was weird, including all the times they'd just hang out on the weekends and Sean would dress up for hours. I mean hours. And put on cologne, and then Ace would show up in just a baggy hoodie with a chain and jeans. But this took the cake. He missed our 8-year anniversary dinner for the first time to celebrate 8 years of him and Ace meeting/becoming business partners. I was furious. If this didn't make it any better, he was apparently blackout drunk and stayed over at Ace's. I could have driven to Ace's, etc., etc., which is what my friends were saying. But why would I do that? I'm tired of it genuinely. When he got back home, he was apologizing profusely and telling me how much he loved me and our relationship, but I told him that it would be over if he didn't choose between Ace and I. He looked defeated and told me that Ace was like family and he couldn't believe I'd ask him that, and I stormed out the house after ignoring every single compromise he threw at me. Even if our lease isn't up, I stayed at my parents' and I am so ready to just stay here. He called me several times in the last day and left me voicemails. Honestly, I'm debating picking up and talking things out, but I can't help but think I am the problem here. AIO? Update. I called Sean at my parents' house, crying in the phone. We talked until 3 a.m. and the engagement is called off. To nobody's surprise, Sean admitted something was happening between the two, kind of. I explained the Reddit post, and he called me malicious for blasting him online. I told him that he's lucky I didn't blast Ace and him on our socials/Facebook. After that comment, I explained the comments. There was a particular comment where they mention Ace's feelings and how I should ask Ace. I said I might just do that. Sean told me not to, and told me straight out that Ace had feelings for him. I was speechless. I asked him how long he knew, and he said since a few years ago. So I asked if there was anything between the two, and he told me, I don't know. I was so confused, and we stayed up until 3 a.m. talking about how Sean doesn't really understand his own feelings, but he knows that he feels stronger about Ace than he does towards me, and calling off the engagement would be the only choice if I chose him to choose. He actually referred to Ace as his life. He told me that I was never a bad fiancé and he loved me throughout everything, and it was nothing I did. He just said that he never has felt so connected to someone since Ace commented on his feelings. My suspicion is that physical things did happen, but Sean rejected that idea a few times before going silent altogether when I asked about it. I'm pretty sure they at least did something because he said, even if they did, it didn't change anything about the situation. But we will never know. He wouldn't admit it regardless of how heated the conversation got. So, thanks Reddit. My engagement is officially off and I'm officially single. He said that he'll pay for the full apartment while the lease is running up, but he'll stay with Ace for now so I don't have to stay at my parents'. Why am I not surprised? All in all, it was a pretty healthy conversation and he admitted a lot of things I probably couldn't get out of him if I would have tried to do it in writing or in person. He never fully admitted an affair, but alluded to it. Regardless, his affair was emotional nonetheless, and he admitted it was, because his emotional attachment towards Ace was almost suffocating. I have no idea what that means. But he said it after I told him that the affair was emotional at least. I even asked him if he was in the closet this whole time to put my mind at ease, and he said that he is very much into women and that he still didn't know what changed when Ace walked into his life. I can't make that up. Really. I'm not sure how I'm coping with this, but I am going to choose me. I'm excited to start a new chapter of my life without Sean and Ace.